some hard things this week. And while what you've heard is misleading, I recognize that what you've heard still causes pain. It tarnishes our reputation as a church. It makes some question the spiritual well-being of our institution. Perhaps worst of all, it evokes memories of church hurt and trauma that all too many of us have had to live through time and time again. And so, from the bottom of my heart, I'm deeply sorry that because none of you should have had to experience hurt like this on the week of Christmas. I hate that a private matter became public. However, I will stand here today and boldly stand by my decision to dissolve my marriage so that I can be able to offer a hope.
Well, that is a brother named Elijah. Let me see here. Elijah McDavid. Now, what I want y'all to understand is, now that brother right there, this is interesting to me. Ironically, that brother, that Elijah McDavid, he have the same spirit on him that Anthony O'Neill, the podcaster, has on him. And so, Anthony, if you happen to see this, you got to go into intercessory prayer so you don't end up like Elijah McDavid. And let me tell y'all what that spirit is. The spirit is, it's a couple of them out there. But I'm going to call this spirit the spirit of a late bloomer. And here's what I mean is, there's some of us who we were early bloomers. We had women our whole life. We've always been able to get countless women, as many women as we wanted. And I just saw this post the other day. I believe it was by the Black Marriage Movement on Instagram about something like most men, 90% of men have 30 or less bodies. And so I come from a cloth and from a group and an era and a time where, you know, we was at 50 before 20 years old. Like we was at 30 before we got out of high school. And if you played football, you played basketball, you in the newspaper, it came a dime a dozen, because every woman wanted to be the star football player, the star basketball player, or one of those guys' girlfriend. A lot of these men didn't play sports at a high level in even high school or didn't play in college. And so they have a late bloomer spirit. And what this spirit is they grow a beard, they get in position, they get a title, they get some money, and they start getting a lot of options. And they start getting all these options and they lose their mind. What it seems like with this Elijah McDavid is that they saying God told him to marry her, and then he left her pregnant. Now, if that is true, if he married this woman and he left her pregnant, he need to be shot in the foot. He need to be shot in the foot with a real gun, a real bullet in his real foot. Like it need to be a price to pay for that. Like as a man, you need to pay a price for that. And I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all better stop playing with these women like that. because I just saw a post about a woman who took the life of her husband. So Elijah, you better hope that woman, if you left a woman pregnant, you better hope she mentally stable. And you better hope that the devil don't jump on her bike, or you gonna get a bullet in your head, boy. Because you need to know better than that. Your big mammy lame sorry behind, how in the world you in the pulpit talking about you finna dissolve your marriage? And then you in all this right here. Now I lost track of what I was watching, because I seen him introduce a fiance and introduce a little boy. And I don't know if that's the woman he left. But I just get a headache listening to the stuff. I'm like, what in the world? Now, I'm going to tell y'all the other spirit. A lot of these men is fighting. A lot of these men are fighting a homosexual spirit. And when I say homosexual, this spirit comes from them watching porn. A lot of these men that you see are career daters, forever single, going through divorces, going through all that. A lot of these men are homosexual. But the thing about it is, a lot of these men are not physically homosexual, they are spiritually homosexual. And what I mean by that is, they be watching the man when they watching the nasty movies. They looking and absorbing and soaking in the size and the shape of the man. That's what they be doing. And I could just tell it because of their spirit. Because I'm going to tell you something like this. And listen, I'm going to tell y'all something now, because a lot of y'all like to argue and all of that. I'm going to tell you something. When it comes to this relationship stuff right here, to God be the glory. I've never been wrong. Because it ain't me speaking. It ain't me. I can give myself wisdom. So I'm just tell you that just to be straight up with you. I ain't never been wrong. So you could think what you want to think. You could argue how you want to argue. You could believe what you want to believe. But if I tell you an ant could pull a train, you better hook up the chain. Because when I tell you something, I'm going to tell you like this right here. We not the same. We don't have the same vision. We don't have the same level of discernment, understanding. We not the same. So don't be in my comments arguing about what you think. Start you a YouTube, and if God gave you a vision and God gave you a voice, he'll give you an audience. I don't argue about what I know. So understand that. I don't argue about what I know now, because what I know comes from the Lord. That's what I know. So I'm going to tell you what's going on. These men is watching porn. And they watching that stuff, and they are opening up to demonic spirits, and they going down they opening that portal, and they going down the rabbit hole. And these men is going from, and I want you to understand this, they going from what they know. Black women. They want to watch black women. Then they want to watch white women. Then they want to watch Asian women. They watching black on black, black on white, black on Asian, white on white, white on black, white on Asian. Then they watching black on black woman, black on white woman, black on Asian woman, white on white woman, Asian on Asian woman. Then they watching what that man name? Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner. Then they watching them Caitlyn Jenners. They watching Caitlyn Jenner. They watching black Caitlyn Jenner on black. Black Caitlyn on white. Black Caitlyn on Asian. I don't know if the Hispanics into that stuff, but I know black, white, and Asian. I done seen them titles, different things, all that popping up and stuff like that. I done heard about that now. Because back when we used to have the VHSs. Now I'm gonna tell you something, and this between me and you. This between me and you, and you ain't got to believe it. I ain't never watched it. I ain't never watched it. I ain't never watched it on my phone. I ain't never watched it on my laptop. I ain't never had a VHS. When I was growing up, my cousin, daddy, had some VHSs. So I seen the cover of it. In my mind, for some reason, I'm picturing a white lady in a leather type bathing suit type of shape thing with a whip. That's what I'm picturing in my mind. I can't remember if that was the picture. We didn't watch it though. Then my cousin, who is a woman, she got married to a man, got punched in the eye, and went gay. He knocked her lesbian. She got married to a man. She used to play basketball. A lot of female basketball players are lesbian for whatever reason. I don't know if it's from looking at women booty and back in the locker room every day, if it's from the physical touching or bumping into each other all the time and rubbing on each other and hitting each other. I don't know why more female basketball players is lesbian than female volleyball players and female softball players and female soccer players. I don't know what it is with that basketball where so many lesbians, but it's a lot of them. Because I know women personally who told me their whole life they was into men and then they with a woman. And I don't understand it, but that's what they do. I'm not a woman, so I don't understand how and why it happens. I just know my daughter would not be playing basketball if I had a daughter. Because it's just too much of that going on, and to each their own. But my cousin got punched in the eye, became a lesbian, went over to an old head lesbian house, and her son, I believe, was gay, or grandson, or whoever he was. He tried to convince me to touch myself while he touching himself while we watching that show. It was TV was on, and it was the kind of TV where you crank the channel, you turn the channel like that. And it had them squiggly black lines going up it. Well, he had to find a channel that had something nasty on there. Couldn't really see what it was because it was so grainy and them lines going up the screen. And I just remember him saying to me, and see, y'all got to realize too now, I'm going to be the most transparent speaker and teacher on the World Wide Web. You're not going to find another heterosexual man as transparent as me. And I remember the boy said, he probably was 12, 13, I don't know what. He said, you see them bumps in your face? I was like, yeah. He said, you know what that is, don't you? I was like, no. Dirt, it bumps, it's acne. He was like, no, that's sperm. He said, so what it is, see, the sperm go up here. And the sperm keep going up. And that's why you got the little bumps. And that's why you got the white stuff in it. He said, that's sperm. He said, so what you got to do is, you got to jike off. So how we watching this right here, you put it on this right here, like we could jike off. And if we jike off, then the more you jike off, that sperm gonna go down. Now, he didn't realize how smart I was, and I am, and how dumb he sounded. But I'm over here in the room with this young man. We about the same age. Now, see, this is the thing with me right here, and this is what I thank God for, and that's what God protected me and called me to this. Because I done a lot of stuff. I done had a lot of women. I done carried guns. I done slept with the guns. I done did a lot of stuff that's illegal. But to God be the glory. I ain't never had a man touch me as a child. And that also happened to a lot of these men. I ain't never had a man touch me as a child. I ain't never had a boy touch me as a child. To God be the glory. For one, don't know what I would have did as a child. And I think that's what happened to a lot of these men. They was with somebody like I was around that boy, and he just talked. He talked. And I'm going to tell you another thing. The way I found out about jiking off was from a white boy at the Boys and Girls Club. And I, now looking back, I believe the black boy that told me about his theory and the white boy, I believe both of them was gay. Because when I look back in my mind and I think and I listen to their voice and their mannerisms, I believe both of them was gay. But I believe they either was watching something and turned that way, or somebody touched them. And the white boy taught me back. And this is the thing, because man and man don't talk about that. Heterosexual, you don't talk about that stuff. So what happened is you had boys who got turned out. Their mama had to work 2-3 jobs, so they live with their auntie, they live with their grandma. They get on, they watching the nasty movies, they get the nasty magazines because their parents is nasty, or their guardians is nasty, or their older siblings is nasty, and they get turned out. And then these boys and these girls that get turned out to their same gender end up touching on, or mentally manipulating and turning out other people. And they will go through and they'll go down the line. To God be the glory, he gave me wisdom at a young age. I got saved, became a Christian at 6 years old. I was crying out to the Lord at 10 years old. So God gave me a profound wisdom at a young age. And that's how you see I have over 3,000 videos, is because of the wisdom that God bestowed upon me. And that's because I prayed the prayer of Proverbs. Because my dad would make me read a chapter of Proverbs every day and write a summary of it. If you miss his Bible study, he haven't done those in decades, so he getting back into it. So it'll be on Sundays. I post, click the link in the description at the very last link that say join the mailing list. That's how you'll be notified about my dad Bible studies. So I was raised by a pastor who studied the word. And he told me one time he read the Bible front to back 10 times. Which now it may be more than that. So he studied the word. He really know the word. He would teach me the word, and he would make me read the word for myself and write a summary. And in Proverbs, it tell you, if you don't have wisdom, ask for it. Cry out for wisdom, because it's greater than silver or gold. So that's what I did. So the boy taught me about that. So now the masturbation and all of that start at 11, 12 years old for a lot of boys. But the thing about it is, some boys have access to other stuff. So my dad being a Christian man from the age of 6, there was never, ever any pornographic tapes or magazines in my house. I never found nothing like that in my house. Never. So I was guarded in that sense. So it was foreign to me when I went to college and I was having sex with girls, because I knew about that. And I lost my virginity in the 9th grade at 15 years old because I knew about that, and it was on that right there. But the nasty movies, I knew about them, but I didn't have access to them. So what happened was, and I'm teaching y'all this for those of y'all with sons, you got to be careful what's in your house. You got to be careful your son's phone, his computer, or you gonna be raising an Elijah McDavid. And these other men who will not get married over the age of 40. You're gonna end up with that. My son taking his post-low time to find a girlfriend, but he 18. He gonna have to hear from me all day, every day. If he crossed 25 and still ain't got no girlfriend, nothing serious, I'd be ready to disown him. I'll be honest with you, like I'd be ready to disown him. Like I don't play by that. I don't play by that. Like, you're not finna be around me spiritually gay. Cause if you ain't got no girl, I don't trust you. If you ain't got no woman at about a certain age, I don't trust you. You're spiritually gay. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Because you're not Apostle Paul. So stop talking about Apostle Paul, Apostle Paul, Apostle Paul. You're not Apostle Paul. You're not app. You ain't got the rest of Ostel. You ain't even AP. You ain't none of that. Your name L. You ain't got the PAU on there. That your name is App L. And so I stopped talking about Apostle Paul because you're not doing the work that Apostle Paul did. And nowhere near it. So hush. And you need to pray for deliverance. You need to pray that homosexual spirit up off of you. You need to pray that spirit of confusion off of you. You need to pray that transgenderism spirit off of you. So these men, what I'm telling you, they go down that rabbit hole and they end up watching transvestites with a man or with a woman, and they end up wanting them a transvestite. So a lot of these guys, they ain't all the way to a man on man, but they on transgender, which is a man who have a thing like a man, but he dress and look and talk like a woman. That's what they be on. And I don't know it for a fact, but I could look at them and tell. And I'm going to tell you this right here. The other reason what has confirmed my suspicions is I have had clients who have hired me and showed me they man, showed me they boyfriend, they husband, they fiance, and the man looked regular. Nothing about him is flamboyant. And these women have found pictures and videos of that man doing stuff with another man, of they man doing stuff with another man. So that's how, and it's just like in criminology, how they used to base us, and they could predict who was a murderer and all this based on your bone structure. That's how it is. So when I see these men, there's a common theme of these men, and it's like a immature handsome. And what I mean by that is, it's like the handsome is like manufactured. The handsome is like they still look 12. They still look 12 or 15, but they got a beard maybe, or you just know that they're a grown man, and it's like they barely handsome. It's like they ain't got no woman ovaries jumping, because the women don't feel like they fine or sexy. The women just feel like they handsome. But it's like a different kind of handsome. And most of them are brown skin or darker skin, and they got all their features intact. Like they rarely have a large nose or large lips. They rarely have that. They almost features be toned down, and they have clear skin. They have good hair, sometimes a good hairline, beard, and they almost want to be metrosexual. You know how they say heterosexual, bisexual, homosexual, then metrosexual. They try to be metrosexual is what they kind of want to be. And they be struggling. Now some of them is looks challenged. They looks challengedly handsome, like Jamal Bryant. So when you deconstruct Jamal Bryant, you look at them ears, and you look at them glasses, and you strip away his title and that pulpit and his money, then he's not an attractive guy to women. Women not checking for him. That's not their type. But it's other guys that may look a little more well-rounded, a little more put together, a little more symmetric. Features are symmetrical a little more. And so these men is battling. These Elijah McDavids, they battling a pornographic spirit. They wrestling with porn. And they wrestling with a same-sex attraction. It's not that they're just vile, disgusting, heartless individuals. They have a heart. It's just they are embattled from what they were exposed to as a preteen, a teen, or a young adult, because it can happen at different times. When they got the freedom to have a phone or a laptop, their inquisitiveness and their lack of an ability to go out and do the real thing with a real woman, it led them to the nasty movies. And anytime I coach a woman and she showed me her boyfriend, I could tell if he struggles with the nasty movies and Angela. And I'll say he is a POR watcher. And every time the woman will say, you right, he does struggle with that. And he told me he struggled with that. And he went to therapy, or he's going to therapy, or he's giving it up, he says, but he struggled with that. How could you tell that by a picture? I can't explain every gift that the Lord gave me, but to try to put it in layman terms is I could look at how he looked, and I can tell based on the constructs of the world how he was treated growing up. So if he's short, if he's overweight, if his features are too big or too little, if he's too light or too dark, too mixed, too biracial, if he's a late bloomer, all of those type of things sends a man into that portal of corn, because he doesn't have access to the real deal. You're never gonna choose a video if you could go do the real thing and get the real feeling, the real experience. As fleeting as it may be, as facetious as it may be, as vain and vexing as it may be, in the ignorance of a young man, you're going to go do the real thing if you have that kind of access. If you don't, you're going to turn to a computer or a phone screen or a VHS, if it's back in the day, or a DVD, and your hand, and whatever else they use. I never understood all that, the lotion and all that. I never understood all that, and why that was synonymous of. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I will tell you, got to be careful shaking men's hands, and because there's a lot of handler users. You got to be fist bumping these jokers, and I'm gonna tell you, because they really get out there and get into it, and that's what they battling. So here's the confusion of this here pastor, Elijah McDavid. The confusion is when you watch that pornography, when you watch that, you're feeding the spirit of lust. You're feeding the spirit of lust, and lust is insatiable. When you feed that lust, it's gonna get stronger. So what happens is they get stuck in any, many, mighty, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he holler, let him go. My mama said that whatever that rest of that song is, that's what they get caught up. So just how this guy did, just how this man did, which he should not be no pastor, because God not gonna make you a double-minded man and a pastor. He not called to be in nobody's pulpit. Somebody put him up there. And I'm going to tell you why they put him up there. Because he looked like a lame and a square. So when you are, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, I mean the literal sense of a L7 brother, that is a square. So when you are L7 brother and you don't have an accent, you get, see me, I could look like a lame, but as soon as I open my mouth, they like, what country, back road, street you from? Talking about Amalam. Like, oh no, you gonna, you better get in our pulpit, sir. Absolutely not. But if you could speak proper English and your features are put together and you articulate, because people are fools and they don't understand the difference between knowledge and wisdom. They don't understand the difference between smart and wise. See, I'm wise. These guys is smart. See, books don't get you through life. Wisdom gets you through life. That's why y'all don't see me as a decently looking man trading in my wife. Because I have wisdom and I know better. So in March 30th, send me a cash out. We celebrate 19 years of marriage, and I'm 41. Elijah McDavid, sit your butt down, boy. You need to sit down. Don't get in no pulpit trying to cry on cue like Erica Kurt. And I'm just upset that a private matter became public. Boy, hush and sit down somewhere, boy. Get out that pulpit, you lying psycho lies. Get out that pulpit and sit down, boy. How you gonna leave that woman when she pregnant? Man, you got me about to pray that the Lord don't backhand you. You need to get out that pulpit, and if you go to that man church, you need to pray, you need to repent, and you need to find another church. You need to find another church. You cannot be sitting under a double-minded man. How is you going to lie on God and say God told you to marry this woman, and then you going to come and talk about now God done told you to leave this woman and the woman pregnant? I'm going to tell you, y'all about to make me start my slapper joker tribe. Well, we coming to the church. We about to be coming to the church. Coming up for the meat greet. Get out that boy. Get out that pulpit. Dummy. Playing with the Lord. Come on now. We got lives on the line. And then here you will playing with the Lord. We got babies in the Lord coming up there to the church. And you playing with the Lord. Come on now. Y'all is too grown and musky. It's like you can't have a beard and be playing with the Lord. Soon as you start to grow hair on your face, you got to stop. You got to know better. You got to stop playing with the Lord. That right there is ridiculous. And if the board, if anybody on that board, you know somebody on that board, Elijah McDavid, send this to them. You wrong. If you on that board and you let that man stay in that pulpit and you friends with that man, you know that man, and you not telling him to sit down, you wrong. His blood on your hands, and you gonna follow him to hell if the Lord decide to come back in the middle of this here fiasco y'all in, because that is nasty. That is disgusting. And Elijah McDavid, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, and you need to sit yourself down before God sit you down, because you're nasty and you're wrong, and you need to sit down. And for those y'all come over here talking about Tony, stop judging. I ain't judging nobody, because God is the only one with a gavel. What I'm doing is I'm holding you accountable, and I'm bringing accountability in the body, so the babies in the Lord don't get confused and think that y'all are real representations of Jesus Christ. They need to know that it's real men out here that are married and faithful, who love the Lord, sacrificing, living for the Lord, not living in willing sin. When we sin, it's accidental sin, meaning walking down the street, you looking around, and that you see that booty over there, and that booty catch your eye, and you got to go into corporate prayer, so you don't go to visualizing that booty. That's the kind of sin we struggle with. But when you in fornication and adultery, oh, you're doing cartwheels and somersaults in the sin. You down there like Charlotte's Web, that little pig just rolling. You just rolling in the miry clay. You just rolling all in the mud. You just returning back to the slop. Just woo! You right in there, little porky. Just all and then got us casting our pearls to you swine. Cause you living like swine. You is living like swine when you getting in the pulpit. And for those of y'all who don't understand, this is how men have to be taught to. We can't be taught to because look at this grown man. Look at the grown musky man. He got people that's talking to him nicely. And he doing this. Y'all got to start talking to men like men. Y'all have to stop coddling these grown boys. You got to get on that email and you got to email this man. Elijah, you need to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be disgusted by your sin, and you need to have the integrity to sit down because you are not fit to lead nobody because you can't even lead yourself. You is lost. Like your head is up your butt and you looking through your belly button and your GPS is upside down. You need to be sitting under the pew. You don't even need to be on the pew. You need to be face planted on the altar praying to God for forgiveness, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And y'all have to stop condoning this. This man in the church talking, and then here go the church. Amen. Amen. What? Man, listen. Man, hey, I got to go. Look. I'm the first thing out of here. I got to go. What he said? He dissolving in marriage. I'm in the church talking. He dissolving in marriage. She pregnant, ain't her? Excuse me. I got to go. I got to go. No, y'all in there clapping and all that. No, boy. Sit your butt down. I'm going to tell y'all something. Just like the Freedom Riders used to go into the segregated restaurants and do sit-ins. We finna start doing walkouts. I'm finna say, where that church at? I'm finna start, when the Lord bless me, I might make that part of my foundation. That's one of our program, walkouts. It's gonna be 50 or 100 of us. We going to this sacrilegious church, and we finna sit in there. We ain't clapping, none of that. We sitting in there, and middle of the service, we standing up, and we walking out. For y'all reinforcing these men and women playing with God and playing in the pulpit. And we walking out and we going to get us some brunch. On all out of the fundraiser. That's finna be our ministry. We finna be doing walkouts. And we praying for you on the way in and on the way out. We praying for you. But we need to stop reinforcing these men and women who want to get in the pulpit and play with God. Because if it was any other religion, they'll be killed. So the least we could do as Christians is stand up for our faith and call these people out and demand. If you go to that church and you don't want to change church, y'all need to demand that he sit down. And that a man who is married and faithful stand up and preach. Point blank period. Point blank period. Y'all have got to stop reinforcing this. Because I'm going to tell y'all reinforcing it. These men is gay. These men are gay. And then, because see, I'm going to tell you like this right here. I do not trust a man who say God told him to get married and God told him to get divorced. I do not trust no man that say that. And then talking about got my man something Hayes up here. The little boy, listen, you better keep that little boy from around Elijah. You better keep that little boy from around Elijah. I'm going to tell you that right now. You better listen. You can't take your son around no man that is doing stuff like that right there. He is of a double mind. That man is of a double mind. That man will be talking about he got to change your son diaper and your son been potty trained for 5 years. And he thought, oh, I was went to change his diaper. So that's the only reason why I unbuttoned his pants. I was going to change his diaper. What? Well, leave that boy alone, boy. Get from around that little boy. Because you're nasty. You got that spirit on you. I'm going to tell y'all now. I'm telling y'all. These men got a spirit on them. And some of these women too. But it's more men right now up there in the pulpit playing around than it is women. It's a group of women out there too now. But so don't get it twisted now. And what the women call themselves prophetess. Child, predict that Powerball. If you a prophetess, what the Powerball? I know we ain't supposed to be playing the lottery, but you talking to witches anyway. So tell her what the Powerball finna be. And let that be our little bit of sin, that we go and hit that Powerball. It's like, sit your behind down talking about you a prophetess. Can't even spell prophetess. Lord ain't called you to that. Y'all got to stop playing with the Lord. Because I'm trying to tell you like this right here. Man, listen, I go through what I got to go through for the Lord. I lose all kind of subscribers. Lose all kind of support. Lose all kind of money. Hey, the all access membership, 80 courses for one price. I brought back the monthly. But the monthly, it goes up now. So all the courses, you want to be a life coach, you want to publish a book, you want to build your social media, you want to start your YouTube, got all them courses on there. So go to TonyGassAcademy.com. And so listen, I lose what I got to lose to stand on God's truth. And so these men, that corn, it done turned them out. And a lot of time it's that coupled with being touched as a man, being touched as a young man. And they go through this state of confusion. And the thing about it is, this man here, I don't know what kind of church he got, but what upset me is that I'm speaking on the man, and the man name ain't big enough for me to be speaking on him. Like, I don't even know who this man is. Never heard of this man. So it's like, I really don't even know what's going on. But let me see what this is. What his wife said.
We've been eating together as a family. He's been taking your son to school. He's been coming back home in the evenings. He's been sleeping here. Like, everything's been fine. Then last Saturday, you all get into an argument over a napkin. You get into an argument over a napkin, and he decides that he is going to leave. And you tell him, look, you're married. You can't keep leaving every single time you get upset. Married people don't have second residences. He decides to leave anyway. So you text him and you let him know that this is the last time that he will be able to walk out on you, your son, and your unborn child. You go to church that next day. Everything is fine. I mean, you are saving face. You're speaking to everyone. You're smiling. After church, you go up to your husband and tell him how great of a job that he preached, and that you asked him if he wanted to go get some brunch afterwards, and like what his plans were. And he said that he had a headache and he was going to go lay down. So I said, okay. So my son, we go to brunch with a friend, and we come back, and your husband is not here. Monday evening, you try to get in contact with your husband, and he still doesn't answer the phone. Monday comes around, and you are sitting on the couch, folding clothes, doing laundry, and watching the P. Diddy documentary. The doorbell rings. You think that it is a package that your stepmom sent you all for Christmas. So you're not in a rush to answer the door, because delivery people are going to sit it down. The doorbell rings again, so you get up because you are naked on the couch trying to fold laundry, because the only clothes that fit are the clothes that you are washing, because you're pregnant. Find something, you throw it on, you go to the door. It is a woman there. She asks, are you Tyler? You say yes. She hands you a paper and says, you've been served. I open the paper and it's divorce papers. You're so distraught. You don't know what's going on, why he would serve divorce papers, what happened to the point that divorce papers would be served. There was no conversation being had. You are literally a mess. You all finally have a conversation a few days later, and you're like, you know what? I need you to be honest with me. Are you messing with anybody? And he tells you that he's been involved with a woman for the past month. Not any woman, but one of the two women that he was involved with in the beginning of your relationship. I'm putting all of my fingers down.
Before we move into our time of worship through giving, I want to say that I, like any other person with a biblical name, I can't help but to resonate with the story of the personality that I'm named for. I have a gravitational pull that keeps on drawing me back to the story of the prophet Elijah. And I'm drawn, Deacon Corey, not just to the high moments of success that he experiences, but I am drawn sometimes to the low moment that Elijah experienced in 1 Kings chapter 19. If you've been in fellowship a little while, if you read your Bible, you know I've taught the story. Elijah just had an awesome victory in chapter 18, defeating 450 prophets of Baal. And then, as you turn the page, you find Elijah running for his life, fearful, afraid, anxious about what's coming next. He even questions the value and the significance of his own future. I would say, as similar to the biblical Elijah, many of us today are wrestling with some heavy emotions. For some in our church, we experienced a whole lot this week, and it's left our community wondering and questioning, what does the future look like? We accomplished a whole lot together as a church family in chapter 18. We had some beautifully victorious seasons that we ought to be proud of in chapter 18. But right now it's chapter 19 moment, and a lot of people are hurting. And if I can be honest, your pastor is hurting. May not have experienced all the dark tears of depression that the biblical Elijah wrestled with, but I can be honest and say I've cried a whole lot these last 3 months. And there have been some moments where I asked God, why? And so, with your gracious understanding, I would like to take some time to do what the biblical Elijah did. To go away to the mountaintop for a few days and allow the Spirit of our merciful God to replenish me, to recalibrate me, and restore me. I want to be better before we resume the work of prophetic ministry. I believe that on the other side of a refueling moment, we can have more chapter 18 victories ahead of us. And for those who might be uncertain about if there's victory ahead of us, I am confident in this. That even when the preacher, even when the members, even when a leader is going through it, even when we are broken and hurting, God knows how to touch us and minister to us and whisper to us in the stillness of the night, just as he did for the biblical Elijah, he can do for any of us. I'm confident in that. And so, beloved, as I prepare for a short time away, allow me to encourage you to never allow anything to interrupt the life of our church's worship. Don't allow anything to interrupt the life of our church's worship. I heard a whole lot on the internet this week, but I'm not going to allow that to interrupt my prayer life. And I would advise you that you shouldn't allow it to interrupt yours either. We've had some moments of victory right now, walking through a valley of defeat. But I've taught you before, fellowship, that whether in victory or in defeat, our task remains the same. We shall lift our eyes beyond the hills because we know where our help comes from. And we're confident in that sacred and holy help. As I prepare to take this brief leave of absence, I do also today want to offer a wholehearted apology to this church family. You all have had to hear some hard things this week. And while what you've heard is misleading, I recognize that what you've heard still causes pain. It tarnishes our reputation as a church. It makes some question the spiritual well-being of our institution. And perhaps worst of all, it evokes memories of church hurt and trauma that all too many of us have had to live through time and time again. And so, from the bottom of my heart, I'm deeply sorry that because none of you should have had to experience hurt like this on the week of Christmas. I hate that a private matter became public. However, I will stand here today and boldly stand by my decision to dissolve my marriage so that I can be physically safe and mentally whole. And through all the noise, I want you to know I'm grateful to be alive. And so I ask that you would pray for our church, pray for my family, pray for everybody who's been involved and touched by this situation. And know that I love my fellowship family and that stepping away even for a brief moment is hard, but I'm confident that the same Holy Spirit that has sustained us through 5 years of victory seasons will continue to be with us even in my absence. And while I might be absent physically, know that I will still be connected with you all spiritually because we're going into our church fast. And I hope you all will help me and join me in praising God for the opportunity that we have to fast together. We announced this fast a little while ago. We didn't know the type of spiritual warfare we were getting ready to walk into, but I believe it's providential that God has called us to a time of fasting and prayer.
So that was from the channel Joy 105 Calm. I don't know, I guess that. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, just up there manipulating. Now the sisters behind them, they sitting there like this. They sitting there, their head to the side. They don't believe a word coming out his mouth. Now I'm convinced, and so I apologize to y'all women. See, men know men. So if a man clapping, it's because he cheating. And he is happy that the pastor has joined the squad. Yeah, pastor, yeah. Hey, I got your mic. Yeah, I got you. Love you, pastor. See that? You the pastor cheat. Every night. See? You coming down on me, talking about you been leaving me and the pastor cheat. Yeah, pastor. That's what he happy about. But I want to apologize to the women because sometimes y'all go to church just to be nosy. This sister sitting behind him, they like, it's an elderly lady, look like she in her 70s or 60s or something like that. Could be 80s because black don't crack. She like, when he say he finna leave and go on a hiatus, and the younger sister beside her, she, they ain't want standing up, they want praising, they ain't drop their head, they ain't close no eyes, they ain't even praying for him because they know he's full of it. And the thing about it is, he reading. He's sitting up there reading off of something. Like, sir, at a time like this, you ain't got nothing on your heart that you can say. Like, he keep looking down at the notes, but they're reading, and it just sounds so contrived, and it sounds so fake, and it just don't even, it don't even make no sense. What are you talking about? Like, this don't even go together. And he's a mega pastor. They call him a mega pastor. Like, what the world? Mega pastor. I never heard of the guy, but I guess that's why, because he out there living in sin. I'm like, and then watch, I go doggone look on Instagram, the man follow me or something crazy. I never heard of him, but I'm oh Lord, why they did it? Y'all got to stop doing us like this. Y'all have got to stop doing us like this. Look how they got Dwayne Wade sitting up here. Dwayne, what is you doing, boy? Why is you sitting there looking like that? This is what I'm trying to tell y'all right here. That's how they try to do you. And yeah, I don't want to hear it. Some people, Tony, you got a favor the Wayne. Hey, I don't want to hear it. We dress totally different. He up here trying to smize. I know the Wayne Wade. He been following me for a long time on Twitter. I follow him on Instagram. I don't know if he followed me on there, but he followed me for a long time on Twitter. And I spoke at his camp years ago. And he be in battle. He be struggling too. And that's why I try to say the devil be going after certain men. And I think that's why the devil mad with me. Because he could never get me. Because I was covered. I'm covered. Not was. I am covered by God. Because of the message that I have to carry. And my mama prayed many days over me. And when I was out there wilding out, and she's always come tell me, baby, don't spread yourself too thin. Baby, don't spread yourself too thin. And she prayed on, and she always spoke greatness on me. She always told me, you going to make a living from your writing. The Lord going to use you. She would always tell me that. And we didn't know it was going to be to this level. But the Lord did it. And that's the thing is that many are called, but few are chosen. And these men who you see, like this Elijah McDavid, he's not called, he just came. And he talking about 5 years. So I'm guessing they've been having, 5 years, they've been having winning seasons, and now they going through a valley of defeat, he say. And yeah, you ain't got to leave the church. And he told me he was going to take a hiatus, so I guess that's him trying to say he going to sit down for a little bit. And that's what he need to do. Your butt need to sit down. But that's just to try to manipulate and just try to let stuff blow over. And the woman came out, I guess the wife came out, and he said he's gonna leave her child and their unborn child, and that he been dealing with one of the two women that he was dealing with in the beginning. And so this is the thing that happened, and this is what I try to tell y'all, and that's what I'm praying for the young Christian men like the rapper D1 and Anthony O'Neal, those type of Christian men who are single or unmarried, that they choose wisely. Because what happens is, here is Elijah with 3 options. And I call it the horse race. And not because women wear weave, but I'm saying that's how a man views it. It's like y'all in that stall, and they say go, that stall open, and you take off and you chasing that bunny rabbit round that trike. And so everybody start at the same starting point. It all start even, but somebody take the lead. And that's how a man treated, like the horse race. He betting on the horses, and he trying to see who finna win. These type of men like Elijah. And so what happened is, he got these women competing with each other. He gets married for the look, and he think he chose right. But one thing about marriage is you going to get to see people flaws. So that lady, I was thinking that was the new lady, but I guess that was the wife that he leaving. She went and did her or get ready with me or something about the outfit. And on one of the videos I watch, and those is a little annoying. Those get a little annoying. They feel a little contrived. They feel a little forced. And sometimes a man get turned off by that. Sometimes a man get with a woman and he get to see the intricacies and the details and the up close and personal. I got to coach in 13 minutes, y'all. And he don't want it no more. She might have messed around and farted. She might have messed around and farted too hard one day and had a little sulfur on it. What? He might have went down to eat him some peach cobbler and had a little pH was off. Like them kind of men, anything can turn them off. Left a tampon somewhere. Anything can turn them off. She pregnant, so she ain't got no tampon, but anything will turn them off. Mess around and stomp the toe and got a corn on the toe. You never know what it is with them type of men that's battling those spirits. You don't know what will turn them off and when they will be turned off. And the thing about it is their lust is unquenchable, insatiable. And so they gotta keep moving around and bouncing around from woman to woman because they fighting those demons that's making them want a transvestite, that's making them want some angelang or some booty. They fighting those demons, and so they got to keep shuffling and juggling these women while they fighting that spirit of lust. And see, that spirit of lust trying to take them all the way there, and they fighting not to go there, so that's why they mess over women. But to be to the point to where, what she say, they argue about something, and it's just so finicky. And what happened is they got in an argument. So then, because he got this other woman he talking to that's whispering sweet nothings, and that's so submissive and so kind and so responsive and so whatever, those the women you heard clapping. The women you heard clapping those are the women hoping, and that's the sad part about women. You see that this woman ain't did nothing to you, and you see that this woman is not no outright, downright, boisterous Jezebel woman, and you see this man is leaving this woman while she pregnant, and you in there as another woman clapping. That's the problem right there with women. Y'all have to learn to stick up for other women. You got to learn how to stick up. If a man do one woman dirty, he done all women dirty. Because you're next. You think you finna come in there and stuff finna be sweet? No, you finna be with that same narcissistic, controlling, immature, irresponsible, double-minded man. You finna get the same treatment. Like, listen, this man is in the pulpit. He got access to God if he want to talk to God all day, every day. This man is a whole pastor and is double-minded. And the Bible say a double-minded man receives nothing from the Lord. And he not saying that she cheated on him. She said he cheated on her. So he ain't even got no grounds to leave the woman biblically. And he in the pulpit saying he going to dissolve his marriage. And then he tried to, what y'all put in the comments what that is. Because y'all who be studying narcissists. What is that called when he tried to say he needed to dissolve his marriage so he could be physically safe? Sir, ain't nobody trying to hurt you. What's physically finna hurt? Well, he trying to get sympathy. And then he say, I'm glad to be alive. Sir, you ain't going through nothing but lust. What you mean you glad to be alive? You ain't even going through nothing but lust. Unless he trying to insinuate that the devil trying to tell him to take his own life. But see, to me, as a grown musky man in the pulpit, you can't even force a tear down your face. You're trying to do that to manipulate people to try to get sympathy. So now you equating your wife pain of being a pregnant single mom that's getting left by you who impregnated her to you could have lost your life, so that people will conflate you possibly losing your life and then minimize the fact that you're leaving this woman while she pregnant and she your wife. She done gave up her life and done got with you, submitted to you, helping you in your walk, in your ministry, and then you gonna divorce her because you cheating on her. And then go to talking about you glad to be alive. Why else would you be dead? We all glad to be alive, sir. Everybody sitting in this church glad to be alive. What are you talking about? What you getting at? What you trying to do? Trying to make us think how we'll be sad and missing you and crying if you was dead, so that we could minimize her pain, because now somehow your life is on the line. Your life on the line playing with that woman. And you better pray that the devil don't infiltrate her mind and she go up that blicky on you and blow your brains out. Because I'm going to tell you like this right here. Couldn't be me. I don't know if I'm spiritually there or not. Kudos to that sister. Y'all, let's pray for that sister. Her strength and her fortitude. Her, you know her, give her my course, Mental Fortitude. Let's pray for her. Give her a few coaching sessions with me. Let's pray for her, because this woman finna be, not only is she single, she got served divorce papers, but she pregnant. And so she say, I couldn't see if she, pregnant or not, nothing like that. But allegedly she pregnant. But then what happened after you give birth? For one, you got the stress every day. So now that all that cortisol is in her bloodstream while she pregnant. That baby getting all that cortisol. That baby got all these high stress levels. Y'all get that woman a pregnancy massage. Y'all go to church with her. I know at least one of his members on here. Get that woman a pregnancy massage. Get her a head massage. Get her a facial. Whatever it is. Just don't have no chemicals going in the body. And help that woman out. Become a midwife or medulla or whatever y'all call it, doula. And y'all help that sister out. We don't know if she innocent or not. We don't know her whole story. But a woman should never be left under those circumstances, because what she getting ready to go right into. After dumping all that stress onto that baby, she also getting ready to go right into postpartum. And Elijah, you better hope that God give her rest in that postpartum. You better hope that God inhabit her with the fruits of the Spirit during that postpartum. That's what you better hope, because it's some women out here that'll blow your head off, boy. And y'all idiots have to stop playing around. Y'all have to stop playing with people's emotions before you wake up dead. And y'all, that is a figure of speech. It be people whose brain is left on the counter talking about, Tony, how can you wake up dead? It's a figure of speech. Did you really think that I meant wake up dead? I mean, comments be full of, it's like, do I need to open an adult school for me to have a conversation? Like, my goodness, we about to have adult tutoring. Teach y'all colloquialisms. Like, my goodness. Y'all be stressing me out. About to have me in postpartum with the sister. So listen, I got to coach in 3 minutes. Got to go. Just coach y'all for an hour and 8 minutes. And I'm back to back today. So it might be my only video I get to film today, because I'm back to back today. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got 9 coaching calls today. And I already did an hour call before this. 10 calls a day. This 11 call today. 11 hours of service. 11 hours with real people. Not just sitting in the office reading the Bible like what the pastors claim to be doing, but actually with the people. One-on-one. Not group. One-on-one with the people. So this right here, hey, this is a different level. So y'all pray for me too. Pray for my wife. She been such a blessing and just helping me. And I was telling her today, I said, baby, you ain't living enough. You too cheap. You ain't spending enough. I say, expensive wives make better husbands, because you going to push me to grind harder, to earn more, to work harder, to do more. You going to push me. I say, don't be cheap skating. Don't sell yourself short. You need that skincare item, get that skincare item. You need to go get a facial, go get your facial. You need to get your nails, your hair done. You need a new pair of shoes. You need a new blouse. Get what you need. and just tell me what's needed so I could get out here and grind now. I say, but don't be cutting corners now, cause you shutting the Lord down. The Lord gonna meet us at where we need to be. He gonna bless us. He gonna meet our needs now. So you got to live. You got to live now. You can't live scarcity mindset. You got to have an abundant mindset. That ain't got to. That don't mean greed, but you got to have an abundant mindset though. Yeah, tell them why that. Like, hey, stop around here, playing humble like these fake pastors now, and going out here and pop your stuff now. Go on, do your thing now. Live your life. Come on now. You got to step. Come on now. Step in the name of the Lord. Not the cha-cha slide, but step in the name of the Lord. You got to walk in boldness and confidence and beauty and elegance. And you got to know who the Lord called you to be. And you got to elevate. So, hey, this Tony Gaskin, send this to Elijah McDavid. Elijah, give me a call. And don't call me with that foolishness. Don't call me with them lies. Don't call me playing around. Call me and let's have us a real conversation, because you got to get your butt in order. You got to do better, brother, because this is ridiculous what you up there doing. And sit down, turn that church over to me. You need me to come in there and guest preach for a few months like Devon Franklin did when Torrey cheated on his wife and left for Sarah Jakes. Give me a call. I'll come up there. Free of charge. We'll have my foundation donate and pay for me to come up there and bring a word to the church. And you sit right out there and get talked about too. Because I'm going to be talking about adultery. And I'm going to be talking about men of standard and not playing with the Lord. No, I ain't going to do you like that. But we got to grow. We got to get better. And that's why y'all pray for me now. Because I have to call this stuff out. But I also got to walk every day too. And so that's why I don't get arrogant and all of that. I'm humble in my correction and in my accountability. But the work got to be done. But hey, God bless you. And we'll talk soon. All the important links in the description. Go and get into All Access membership.